Today is all about a question that is very frequently asked, which is, Fritz, what is the difference between conversational hypnosis and hypnotic questioning? I know that you teach a conversational approach. And so the biggest difference between the traditional conversational hypnosis method and hypnotic questioning is that in hypnotic questioning, our goal is to help our clients to resolve their issues as fast as possible. So this is a method that actually is backed with neuroscience with regards to how the nervous system works, how the unconscious mind works, with regards to helping the client solve their problem as possible. In traditional conversational hypnosis, there is a lot of emphasis on the hypnotic part itself, where they use things like embedded suggestions. And so an example of an embedded suggestion is this. Now, I'm reading this straight from a conversational hypnosis school online. An example is, so you can sit there and feel very comfortable and maybe even close your eyes when you're ready. And it's very simple for you to fall into a nice trance as you listen to the words I'm giving you. We don't do any of that shit. I can't even read that properly and make it hypnotic, just because that's not how I teach. That's not how I've helped my clients resolve their issues within 5 minutes. Just by doing this for like a minute, I could ask a client a question within that minute to really open up their identity and ways of the world and their thinking within that time period compared to trying to give hypnotic type of command, right? And so when our clients come into our session, we get as efficient as possible. What is the problem? Let us explore it. And that is really the biggest difference. It is helping our clients to resolve their issues as fast as possible because that's what they paid us for, right? And that's what people want. And so we don't waste time in any of these things because truth of the matter is, if someone comes to us with, say, emotional eating using a language pattern, which is also what conversational hypnosis traditionally teaches, like something like, you might find yourself noticing that you are full sooner, so you can decide to stop eating. That is a type of conversational hypnosis language pattern. And again, we don't do any of that shit. Like you can hear, it comes very unnaturally to me because that is not how I talk. That is not how normal people speak. And some language patterns can get really absurd and nonsensical. And really, not a question is all about using the naturalness of connecting with your clients. And we are under the principle that we are entering our client's world instead of making shit up because of the theory that that was taught many, many years ago, right? We focus on the client in front of us. And that would be the biggest difference as well. We're not memorizing anything. We're really just paying attention to the client in front of us because we are there to notice the conscious versus unconscious information and drivers that make up our client's problem. So going back to the example of emotional eating, this embedded suggestion of, you might find yourself noticing that you're fuller sooner, so you can decide to stop eating. Eating is not the fucking problem. If a client comes to you for emotional eating, that is not the real problem that you'll be helping them with. Not like that feeling of not knowing that they're full or continuing to go past that feeling of hunger. That is not the real problem. And so through hypnotic questioning, I train my students to really determine what the real problem is, because it's not that. And there are hours and hours and hours of training and demonstration of real people with real problems to show us that it is not the case, that we are not really helping them with their food habits. We are helping them with something else deeper that will affect their life moving forward. And sure, these traditional things can help and has helped. However, I am not just concerned about the superficial level layer problem. Of course, it can help because it can put a band-aid in, right? If I have a wound and you put a band-aid in it, I'm not going to listen to it and I'm probably going to feel good temporarily. But what happens is, and where my thinking goes, is I want to impact my client's life at a deeper, profound level. So instead of putting that band-aid on, I am wanting my clients to experience such a deep transformation that even if 6 months later something happens to them that is extremely stressful, like for example, someone that they love passes away 6 months from our session, because I've helped them discover really deep issues and help them become resilient right then and there in our sessions. Even if something happens 6 months from now, they won't revert back. They won't revert back to the emotional eating that they came into me with. What usually happens is that some results are not fast with these traditional methods because, yes, you may absolutely help your clients with the emotional problems, but if 6 months down the line they experience something like a family member passing away, sure, they may not go back to emotional eating, but they may pick up shit or habits in order to help them regulate, because the inner driver and the resilience and the inner transformation and deep profound breakthroughs didn't happen because we just went into a superficial level layer. And like I said, I'm more concerned about impacting my clients, not just right now, but also in the future moving forward and helping them become resilient. Resilience isn't built because someone is telling you what to do and having embedded demands into the subconscious. That has actually not been proven. Have you ever told a toddler to sleep? A toddler is purely unconscious, right? It's mostly unconscious. Have you told a toddler to go to bed at the right time? And what do they say? They say no. That is how the unconscious mind works. So this somehow it's been we've been made to believe that just giving indirect suggestions or direct suggestions it was what helps the unconscious mind. But if you truly know how the unconscious mind works, it doesn't work that way. And this is what we teach inside hypnotic questioning: how to actually work with the very, very stubborn unconscious mind, because it will keep the person in homeostasis for as long as it can, even if that client is displaying unhealthy behaviors. This is what we focus on, getting into that unconscious payoff. That is what we work on, not just giving indirect suggestions, which is really, really ignorant, really, and it doesn't serve our clients the best. And usually the countless of trainings that we've had, and I've been there, I've been to countless training, is very tedious, and I was always looking for something easier and faster, and this process is what helps with that. I never really realized how quickly problems can resolve just with a conversation. As mentioned, in as little as 5 minutes, my clients will open up to me, even though I'm a complete stranger technically to them right before we met. And so this is how really I and my students have regained the joy and fascination for our work, because we're not just using language patterns or scripts or the same techniques over and over. And although they work deep down, you can only get excited about those for so long, right? Like I have talked to a lot of hypnotists and hypnotherapists and therapists who have been in the field for years and years using the same techniques. And although they work, they feel flat after a while. But if you actually learn how to work with a person in front of you, then it brings back that fascination and joy, because you know that every conversation is going to be different and will lead you to some unexpected journey that is going to be exciting, that you didn't expect, as well as your client. And it really makes you feel very much more satisfied and excited with each client. And even the same client that you've had in the next session will present differently, which makes it super duper exciting and super fascinating. And so that would be the biggest difference. The really big difference is that we really work with the stubborn unconscious mind using nervous system principles, which again, it does not correlate with this false assumption that the unconscious mind will just really absorb that. Give yourself the same suggestion over and over and over and over again for 30 days, and see what happens. Did you actually get what you want? Like, honestly, without taking action. So that is the biggest thing. We are solving problems, going through the deep level, and we are very much concerned about helping our clients have lasting change, even if shit were to hit the fan months or even years from then, we get confident and we become confident that our clients are going to be able to be resilient and adaptive in those changes because we get to the deep layer. So I hope that that question helped. And if you have any at all, let me know and I will see you soon.